and what it means for the show. All right, double checking the output here. Everything is looking good on this side. YouTube is complaining a little bit. So hopefully that clears out. I think we're ready to go here, though. This is Geek News Central. My name is Todd Cochran, coming to you as live as it can be from Honolulu, Hawaii, overlooking Greater Oahu. The lead stories are Chrome 69 is a privacy quagmire. Facebook moderator sues Facebook over his mental health. Skype calls are coming to an Amazon smart home device near you. Apple's completed the Shazam acquisition. And, of course, Mojave is live, and that's exciting for those of you that are Mac users. Hey, I want to give you a warm welcome, of course, to the show. And this is episode 1315 of the Geek News Central podcast. It's Monday, September 24th. This show is sponsored in part by our good friends over at GoDaddy.com and listeners just like you, /Insider. I want to give a warm welcome to all the new listeners to the show. Thank you for being here. Thanks for checking us out for the very first time. It's most important that you get connected with the Ohana, and to do so, all you got to do is go over to geeknewscentral.com, get subscribed to the podcast right there on the right-hand column of the website, whether it be Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher. You can even get this show via email. Links are all on the website, so go ahead and get connected up with this. That's a great way to do it. Of course, sign up for the newsletter while you're on the website as well. The links to the newsletter are a little bit farther down the right-hand column of the website. It's a great place to get started. Getting subscribed is the key to becoming part of the Ohana family here. And, of course, you can watch this show live at live.geeknewscentral.com. Of course, all of our streaming locations, we'll talk about that in a minute. Of course, the most important thing is most of you are going to get this via podcast. So you can watch this show on the Apple TV. You can listen at blueberry.com. You can listen on your smart home device by saying the keyword to that device and play the podcast Geek News Central. Again, all those other places subscribe to the show via a normal podcast session. And of course, we are live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and we were supposed to be from Mixer tonight, but I must have missed a setting because it didn't come online. Better luck next time. Of course, you can join our chat room at geeknews.chat or on Slack. Our chat room is a Mastodon server. You can come over there and hang out with us. So hang out with the cool cats. So join us over there. Of course, Slack is fun to hang out on as well. A great place to kick back with the Ohana here. And of course, you can email me here directly at the show, geeknews@gmail.com, geeknews@gmail.com, or you can follow me on Twitter at geeknews. You can follow on Facebook. Got some partner shows. Partner shows are included, and on the header at geeknewscentral.com include the Gadget Professor, Mr. Don Bain, the Pro Gear site being written by my writing team, New Media Show, which is I'm co-hosted with Mr. Rod Greenlee, and of course, Podcast Legends. And of course, you can pick up Ohana gear, stuff that you can, cups, mugs, that kind of stuff, at cafepress.com/Ohana store. This show is sponsored by the longest running continuous sponsor of a podcast in the podcasting space. That's our good friends at GoDaddy.com. They've been with us, or with me, since June of 2005. So pretty exciting stuff. They've been here that long. Of course, we got great deals for you. geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy is where you go to find those deals. All you got to do is hit the website, whether it be a 99cent.com, 30% off new product purchases, whether it be $1 a month economy hosting with a free domain for the first 12 months, or $1 a month managed WordPress hosting for the first year with a free domain. If you're a business owner, you get that 1 month free trial. Go to your website, build your choice of personal business or business plus plans. All the deals are there, all the codes. You just got to click on the link that locks it in. Or if you get to the checkout counter, make sure you look like you have a discount code applied. If you don't, come back and grab one. Again, all these codes are available at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. That's a place to come and get them. And share these codes with your friends, family members, people that you know. This is how we spread the love here. Having a friend or family member use one of the codes, it's just like making a donation to the show. So definitely share those codes with people that you know looking to get a website, get started, or do some online e-commerce. So again, we want to thank our good friends over at GoDaddy for being a sponsor here, geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. And I have to make a confession here tonight. It's about 100 degrees in the studio. I don't know if you can see it, but we have no trade winds here in Hawaii right now. And it has been miserable all the way through the weekend. Started about Friday, just dead air, nothing but high humidity. And this is one of the few times that I've actually I need to see if the AC works. It's been horrible. Hot as an oven. So I got all this stuff turned on in the studio. Got the TriCaster running. We got the audio recording software. I got a Mac running here. iMac in front of me. You know, all that heat and of course, well, that lights don't give off any heat because it's LEDs, but holy cow, it's hot in this studio. So I'm going to sweat. And you can already see it beading on my forehead. So for those of you that are listening, you guys will just know I'm sweating, okay? You can join the chat room tonight live.geeknewscentral.com, of course, up on YouTube. And great way to stay connected with the show tonight in the chat room, of course. So I want to start right off. Well, let me see. I had a couple of things I want to tell you. Duh. You know, when it rains, it pours around here. So I was yesterday about 8:39. My wife says, "Hey, come here." And I walk into the kitchen, and she goes, "Look at," and we have hardwood floors. Our living room and kitchen adjoin each other. Hardwood floors all the way. All the bedrooms have carpet. Office has carpet, but everything else is hardwood. One solid color. And she says, "Does the floor look funny?" And I'm like looking at the floor. I'm like, "Yeah, something's wrong. I'm stepping on the, on the wood, and it's given a little." And I'm like, "Oh my God, what is going on?" And we start investigating. My refrigerator has a, just like most, ice machine, water connection. And I had noticed, and I really didn't think anything of it. I'd started using a new filter type, a new company so I thought it was attributed to that, but I would stick a cup in to get water and go, psh, psh, every time you started. So get a little air before you got water. And I wasn't even thinking. I should have known, hey, Todd, there's a leak. So for about a month, the refrigerator in the back of it has been leaking in such a way that it was going down in between and going across. And as near as we could see, it's not good. It's not good at all. And I'm thinking, I got to call the insurance company on this. And it's not to the point where it's like bubbling up, but you can see there's a distortion. So here's a word of warning. If you have a refrigerator and you put the water attachment on it and it blows a little air and then you get water, that's not normal. It's leaking somewhere and you don't know it. And that was exactly the case. So we looked at the back, pulled it out, and the hosing is all like bad. She's wanted a new refrigerator for a couple of years anyway. I'm thinking, okay, this can go in the garage. I'm like, go ahead, go shopping for a refrigerator. Oh my God. She sent me some screenshots of the refrigerator she wants. I think I'm going to go to Home Depot and find some new hose and just rewire this or rerun the hosing on this refrigerator. There's no way I'm spending that kind of money. And there's a sale coming up. So, maybe she'll convince me, but holy cow, what's up with refrigerators? They went up and got busy. And I haven't had to buy it. When we bought this house, the refrigerator was with it. So I haven't bought a refrigerator in 20 years. So, I'm really haven't been shopping prices, but she sent me screenshots of $3,000. I'm like, no. I was thinking $1,000, 1,200. That's good. And then, of course, she wants the real super fancy ones. I'm like, we don't really need that. I'm talking it down. But anyway, yeah. And I don't know what the insurance company's going to say, but I'm sure that it's going to lead to more issues with that patch. And I'm oblivious and leave it to her to have noticed it. Okay. GNC rework is almost done. I told you I was having some work done on the back end. You guys should be able to have seen on the site. Site's definitely loading faster. My score is way up with Google. That's important. And so hopefully we'll get a little bit out of the penalty box here over the next month or so. But what's been focused has been working on the podcast awards prep. Podcast awards ceremonies this coming Sunday. So I've been collecting graphics and getting all the stuff done. And so that is I'm pretty much done there. So I'm good with that. And it's going to be a full week. But anyway, I've talked enough about this stuff. Let's get into the regular tech. Those of you that are watching on the new streaming locations, whether it be on Twitter or one of the other locations, welcome to the show. The show format is pretty simple. First 10, 12, 13 minutes, I talk, and tonight a little bit longer about just stuff going on in space, and then we get into the tech, which I'm going to do now, and then we're going to go until I run out of material. But thanks for being here. Thanks for checking the show out for the first time. If you're up late watching on Twitter, we appreciate it. We're getting some good traction over there on the first couple of streams that we've done. All right, Google 69 has a forced login policy, and you're not even going to be notified. Chrome 69 is logging into a Google. What it's doing is when you log into Gmail in your Google Chrome browser, basically what it's doing, it's also logging the browser in. It's not necessarily syncing. If you guys use sync, just remember all that data syncs going back to the Google Cloud and sharing with multiple devices. I don't use Google Sync. I haven't ever used Google Sync. I don't think personally Google Sync is a good idea. It's just what is on my site. It's on my machine. I don't want going back. Now whatever I do on Google, they're going to see that, obviously, but they don't need to know which other websites I go to. So what's changed with with Chrome 69 from that version? Basically, anytime someone using Chrome logs into a Google service or site, they are also logged into Chrome as a browser with that user account. Anytime someone logs out of a Google service, they are also logged out of the browser. Before Chrome 69, Chrome users could decline to be logged into Chrome entirely, skipping the sync and other features that require a login, and they could use Chrome in a logged out state while making use of Gmail, for example. So if you've seen your photo if you see your photo now when you're logged in, it means your browser's logged in. So if you're syncing, then nothing's really going to change. But if you are not, and it's real cloudy, what's going on here? And Google's not giving a real good answer. Now, I bet you many of you didn't know that you weren't actually logged into Chrome. You use Chrome as a browser, right? Just a browser. You're using it just like any other browser. And when you log into Gmail, that's Gmail. But now it's logging the browser in as well. What does that mean? What's being sent back to Google? What are they going to do with that data? Is this something that's going to continue to be an ongoing privacy concern? Is this privacy creep? Google doesn't have a big explanation what's going on here. And it makes me wonder just a little bit. And a gentleman by the name of Matthew Green, he says he's done with Chrome. He doesn't want to even risk any data going back. From his perspective, it comes down to what he says 4 points. Nobody in Chrome development team can provide a clear rationale for why the change was necessary. And the explanations that he's received don't make any sense. And this change, according to him, it has enormous implications for user privacy and trust. Google seems unable to grapple with this, according to him. The changes make a hash out of Google's own privacy policies for Chrome, and Google needs to stop treating customers' trust like it's a renewable resource because they're screwing up badly. Now, note, it doesn't turn on sync. You still have to explicitly opt into that. So, if you haven't explicitly opted into it, why is it asking you to log into the browser? What's the reasoning? I think that there is concern here. Consent matters. You have to ask me, do you want to log into this? And they're just implying that it's okay. They want you to do that. You know, for many, many years, we haven't had this situation where the browser's actually logged in to Google as well. So again, I don't fully understand why this is the case. The Chrome Sync UI is now is even more confusing because if you're forced to log into Chrome, you're faced with a new menu that really doesn't make a lot of sense. It's got a big blue button that indicates that you're already synced. Does the big blue button that shows up indicate that you're synchronizing your data to Google? Or is it an invitation to synchronize? So what happens if you click that by accident? Well, if you do, up it goes into the cloud. And Google has all your browsing history, all your bookmarks, everything you do in your browser goes back to the mothership. Does that matter to you? It's bad enough Google already knows what we're doing in search. They know what we're doing in email. But now they're going to have the ability through this kind of, it's not, and maybe some of you don't think this is a big deal. And if you're syncing already, you've already agreed to let your data be stored by Google. Now, here's the case. And some of you are going to say I'm overreacting. But, Big Brother doesn't need to actually watch you. If they want to watch you, they're going to get a warrant. You're going to get watched one way or the other. But you don't have to just voluntarily give stuff to Google. It's out there. And the internet is already spying on us a lot. This new approach definitely has privacy implications, even if sync is off. For example, if I have my browser logged out, then I log in and turn on sync, does all my past logged out data get pushed to Google? What happens if I'm forced to be logged in and then subsequently turn on sync? No one knows what's going on with this data. So I think there needs to be some explanation by Google on what they're doing here. In basic browser mode, remember your data is stored locally. In sign-in mode, your data gets shipped to Google servers. If they said that, but you don't get to decide. Now it's just logging you in. So Google is supposedly updating the privacy policy to reflect a new operation in Chrome. But what is the new update? So again, we're all very trusting of what we put on the internet. Are we willing to let Chrome just send our browsing data to Google? I don't have sync turned on. Call me conspiracy theorist. Don't care for them to have that info. All right, let's talk about Facebook just a little bit. A former Facebook moderator sued over mental trauma. And apparently, this was one of these ones of tens of thousands of artificial intelligent humans that has to. What's going on here? Why are we not getting data to YouTube? Okay. My data to Facebook looks good. Very annoying. The whole live streaming thing is not perfect yet. You can definitely tell that. Now it says the health is good. Very, very weird. Okay. Well, anyway, where was I? Let's go back. So I can't imagine being a Facebook content moderator. And if you live in Austin, Texas, huge number of Austinites are working for Facebook as content moderators as part of their artificial intelligence team down there looking for content. So these moderators often have to see the very worst of what people post, including graphic violence, sexual abuse. And while the social network has resources, in other words, they have shrink on staff to help folks, this contractor has sued Facebook for allegedly ignoring its duty to protect moderators who deal with mental trauma after seeing disturbing imagery rather than create a safe environment. It's producing a revolving door of contractors who are permanently scarred by what they've seen. So if you're out there, I'm just telling you, ladies and gentlemen, if you are looking for a job and you are going to take one on as a Facebook moderator, we've talked about this a number of times on the show already, right? The Facebook stuff is already bad enough. Just being on there on a personal business, as a personal day-to-day thing. But to have to sit there and look through other people's stuff, I can't imagine the mental anguish that these folks have to go through. You have to have a mental fortitude of steel to go work one of these jobs. Some people can do okay with it. I think a lot of it has to do with the mental state you are as you walk in the door, and if you've put up that firewall, internal firewall to, block as much as some people can do that, some people can't. I don't know if I could do it, to be honest with you, but the Facebook must walk a line here. They have to police content from billions of users, and they have to use these hundreds of thousands or thousands of human moderators, their artificial intelligence, to make it happen. So I think we'll see more of this, but I just can't imagine the mental trauma that if you ever work, anyone in this audience ever be a moderator with anybody, Twitter, Facebook, anyone? I would love to hear your commentary on this. Some news coming out of Skype. Skype calls are coming to Amazon, an Amazon device near you. So if you use Skype, I use Skype quite a bit. I actually do calls on my Google Home more than I do on Skype, because it can be tied in through a Google number. So, but anyway, Skype calls coming to an Amazon device near you. So be aware of that, all right? Kind of cool. Apple's acquired Shazam. Of course, we knew that. They've finished the acquisition. So Shazam is going to become ad-free soon. I use Shazam because I never can figure out what song is playing, and sometimes I want to know. So I'm sure many of you have used Shazam as well, but it's now in the iOS ecosphere. A number of you probably have made the plunge on Mac side. Many of you probably have made the jump to Mojave. I have not yet. I've got some big events coming up, so I'm not doing any updates. It's very, when I have a big live event coming up where there's going to be multitudes of thousands that are going to be on the live stream, I don't touch anything. No upgrades allowed. Everything is deferred. Now, if it's a machine that's not part of the production system, okay, I can kind of let that slide. But no other no other updates are done until after the big event. But then I'll probably make the jump. It's not a big one. All the reviews so far are kind of mixed. Apple has, well, from an operating system standpoint, they're kind of like Windows 10 right now. Kind of just a few features, not rocking the boat, keeping the UI the same. Adding little tidbits here or there. Yeah, after all, most people are using a browser, right? They're not using most of the features on their computers. I was a multitasking fool over the last couple of days with getting everything ready for the podcast awards ceremony, crossing this, checking that, and it's nothing worse than getting something wrong when you're live in front of a lot of people. So I'm like going through and like triple checking, quadruple checking, because I've made the mistake before where I've gotten something wrong and then had to make a correction later. You don't want to do that. So lots of Windows double checking stuff. So it's cool when you're multitasking, but for the most part, most people are just on browsers today. This next article I think is very, very cool, and I think it makes a lot of sense. Robots are not going to replace humans anytime soon, but a robot controlled by someone with a physical disability makes a lot of sense. A Tokyo cafe is going to use a robot for waiters who are operated by people with physical disabilities. The system works even if the operator can only move their eyes. This is amazing. Japan is taking steps, and this is what shocks me a little bit. Japan has a tendency to be, well, let me be frank. They're not kind to handicapped people, in my opinion. So they're trying to fight social isolation by employing robots in many aspects of life as possible. After introducing autonomous robots in various roles in a hospital, a number of nursing homes, and schools, the cafe in Tokyo will soon be open with robotic waiters controlled remotely by people with physical disabilities who wouldn't be able to work otherwise. So it's just basically a robot that rolls around, and they have a speaker and a camera, and they're able to be controlled with a PC, and they can talk over the internet. So a robot waiter was controlled by a gentleman who suffered from what they call, oh my God, I'm going to destroy this, autophagic vascular myopathy that causes atrophy of skeletal muscles. The robot control system also has an eye tracking input capability, which makes it suitable to be used with people with late stages of ALS. But anyway, this is something that's cool. They're trying this out. People can have a job, be productive. The Japanese Ministry of Trade is going to help pilot this. They're going to have 70-some companies representing employees who couldn't be at work due to illness or other reasons. This makes sense to me in a big, big way. We have so many people here that are bedridden, or maybe they're not as mobile. Maybe they are paraplegics, and it gives them the ability to do something, to be more productive, and not. I think this is fantastic. I really, really do, and I hope we see more expansion of this. And it makes sense. Now, you're going to have wait staff that's going to be there to help, move the orders around. But at least in this instance, someone that can take orders. So it's awesome. I think what do you guys think? Think it's a good idea? geeknews@gmail.com, geeknews@gmail.com for your comments. All right, your Roku devices are going to get support for Google Assistant. This is big. It'll be soon become easier to control your Roku devices. The company's confirmed today it will be possible for users to control devices through Google Assistant. This software update will be rolling out in the next few weeks. Will bring Google Assistant to Roku branded TV sticks and streaming boxes. Google Assistant support will enable users to control the device with voice commands given to the digital personal assistant. It will be possible through any Google Assistant device, such as a smart speaker like Google Home, or just the Google Assistant app on a smartphone. Awesome. Really, really awesome. I do have a question for you folks. What are you using, those of you that have cord cutted, when you get a hankering, like yesterday I was eating lunch, and sometimes I would eat lunch, I would turn on the news or something. What are you guys doing for news? TV type news for cord cutting? Where are you getting those tidbits? Is there anything out there that won't make me sick to my stomach? Drop me a line. I'd love to hear what you're using for news as a cord cutter. All right, over at 9 to 5 Mac, this, my. Finally. Do you use Waze? Do you have CarPlay? Waze navigation now works with CarPlay. Wow! The latest update to Waze lets you use the smart navigation app on the built-in screen with your car with CarPlay support. So Waze on CarPlay includes voice search, reporting issues for other drivers, and more. Yes! I don't have a car that supports CarPlay, but when I rent one, this is awesome. Really, really awesome. I'm a big fan of Waze. When I'm taking my kid to school, it's the first thing, either he loads or I load. We look what the traffic is, figure out which way. There's only really 2 ways we can go, and it usually saves us 5 minutes going one way or the other. But at least we get an idea what the transit time is going to be, et cetera, et cetera. So very, very good. Very, very good. Waze is now integrated with CarPlay. Awesome. It made my day. It really, really did, even though I don't have a car that supports it. The big news today, Sirius XM is going to buy Pandora. Now, they already owned about 20% of the stock before, but they did an all-stock deal valued at $3.5 billion. The merger agreement includes a go-shop provision where Pandora may actively solicit, receive, evaluate, and potentially enter negotiations with other parties. SiriusXM expects the deal to close in the first quarter of 2019. So that's good, $3.5 billion. Acquiring Pandora would make SiriusXM the world's largest audio entertainment company with over $7 billion in combined revenue. Here's the deal. SiriusXM knows the satellite stuff that's going away. It's all in the car. It's all in the app. It's all on mobile. It's in the dash. They're not going to put no more satellites up. Why would they put more satellites up? They integrate Pandora, add all the Sirius XM stations. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. So, Sirius XM has 36 million subscribers in North America, and Pandora has more than 70 million monthly active users. So, some of you have Sirius XM in your vehicles. You're subscribed to it. In Hawaii, we can't get Sirius XM out here. A lot of people, they only subscribe to Sirius XM because they can get Stern and some of those other channels. So if you do have Sirius XM, and let's say you could get the Sirius XM channels in your Pandora app, would you switch over to Pandora and have available all the music that they have in addition to the Sirius XM channels? Interesting, yeah? Shareholders receive 1.44 of newly issued SiriusXM shares for each Pandora share they hold. The Pandora price from this deal is $10.14 a share, or 13.8% premium over a 30-day volume-weighted average price. So this is big. This is a big deal. We'll see if they're going to do any podcasting stuff. Interesting. All right, are you looking for a new unlimited data plan? Which one should you buy in 2018? Are you shopping? Well, the folks at Android Central has got a great breakdown here between AT&T, Sprint. We've got, of course, T-Mobile. We've got Verizon. It gives a good breakdown. And I'll be honest with you, if you're in an area where Sprint has good connectivity, you're not moving around too much, Sprint's got a pretty good deal. But if you're on the go a lot like I am and you end up in rural America, Verizon looks like it's probably the better choice. But they've got some plans and some options. Of course, T-Mobile continues to be very aggressive as well, which should not come as a surprise. In an interesting move, Google CEO Sundar Pichai, and I always destroy his last name, is headed to Washington this week to discuss censorship in China. Okay. He will present at a private meeting with lawmakers this Friday to discuss the company's controversial plans to relaunch a search product in China and perceived liberal bias of search results, according to a report from the Wall Street Journal. Okay. So why didn't they? Okay, he's going to attend a public hearing later this year as well. But Google co-founder and Alphabet CEO Larry Page declined to show up recently at that Senate Intel Committee. So why is Sundar now stepping up and doing it? Did they figure out they misstepped there? It's kind of curious, isn't it, if you think about it? They didn't go to the hearing, but now he's going to go do private meetings? So apparently they don't want to be publicly called out? According to Wall Street Journal, Attorney Jeff Sessions plans to meet with state attorneys on Tuesday to discuss Google's alleged censorship of conservatives. Tech firms have denied the existence of liberal bias in products, and Google has pushed back against the administration, but it sounds like the CEO will be forced to answer questions nonetheless. The meeting is being organized by House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy. Last week, the CEO sent an email to employees, which is obtained by the New York Times, which he stated outright that Google has never influenced search results for political purpose and no plans to do so in the future. And I think that is sometimes very much contested by conservatives based on stuff that they've seen. It's very simple. The Google search engine giveth and the Google search engine taketh away. And there is a lot of things that lead into it. Prime example, page load speed on Geek News Central slowed down. I got penalized. Put me in the penalty box. My fault. I'm fixing it. See if I get out of the penalty box. Lots of things can slow a web page down. Lots of things. And or change how you're ranked. And Google has, Google's been relatively good to me over the years. And you guys have known I've had 2 instances where I've got put in the penalty box. This time and one time prior. And the time prior was my fault as well. I wasn't paying attention to what signals Google was requiring of website owners to stay in a good grace. All right. Google Feed has been renamed to Discover and will appear on mobile homepages. Last year, Google announced Feed, a personalized news feed that lives under Google search box in the mobile app. The company is rebranding Feed to Discover. You still get the same listings of current topics and upcoming events, but it'll be even more tailored to your interests. But what's especially intriguing, however, is that Discover will no longer just live in the app. It'll appear in the Google mobile homepage as well. Dun, dun, dun. So one of the new features to Discover is that there'll be new topic headers that allow exploring topics. Your interests are now front and center and culled from your Google search results over time. So, for example, if your hobby is hiking, you see hiking show up as a new topic in Discover tab. Well, I'm fine about everything. Podcasting will show up on my Android device. So we'll see where this leads. But anyway, Google Feed has been renamed to Google Discover. On the Microsoft side, they have started rolling out Office 2019 for Windows and Mac. So the previous period is over, the preview period is over. Microsoft is making Office 2019 available today. Of course, Office 2019 is the successor to Office 2016. It's a perpetual on-premise version of Microsoft Office Suite and includes Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, Project, Visio, Access, and Publisher. So look for that update coming to a desktop near you. I'm still use a lot of Windows products, especially on the Excel side. I live in Excel spreadsheet a lot. Microsoft Teams, I'm using, we use Slack. Slack has been, fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. But Microsoft's competition to that was Microsoft Teams. It's now used by 329,000 organizations, up from 200,000 in March. That's pretty big marching forwards. 125,000. So it's April, May, June, July, August. So 6 months. Of course, they don't say how many individuals are using it, but that's the latest from Microsoft Teams. The question I've been trying to imply to all of you recently is, how safe are you online? Are you paying attention to these things like Chrome 69 that is automatically logging your browser in? So there's a good brush up here at makeuseof.com talking about using social media, using VPN, using an anonymous web browser. There's some good ones out there, Tor, a few other anonymous web browsers. Have you been checking to see if your data has been stolen? Have you looked around any? I use LifeLock here. I know it's an expensive product, but be honest with you, I can go in there and look to see and I get notifications when something pops up. It may be a little overkill for most people, but doing simple things like running your credit every year. Obviously, are you running antivirus software on both Mac and PCs? I do. I run malware software on both Macs and PCs. Also, are you using some open source software? Are you paying attention, make sure it's getting updated? And more importantly, are you creating backups of your data? Do you have a plan? Do you take precautions on public Wi-Fi networks? I rarely connect to public Wi-Fi networks anymore. I may with a tablet, but never a laptop. I'll hotspot my laptop into my tablet, which is connected to a data plan. I very, very rarely will put a laptop on a public Wi-Fi network. And if I do, I use a VPN and I take some other precautions as well. You use a password manager. I'm using one. I've got one that I really like. There's a number of them out there. So, and more importantly, when you're traveling, you're taking physical precautions of your computers. So these are some good tips to make sure you're doing some secure stuff with your computers and your online usage. All right, Apple. This is a weird one. I've never used Salesforce. I pray I never have to use Salesforce. It sounds to me like something that I would just want to stick my head through a wall. I know some of you probably live and die by using Salesforce because you just have to. Apple and Salesforce have created a strategic partnership to bring Siri to enterprise customers. Now imagine this. You open your mobile Salesforce app and Siri says this to you. Hey, your Siri daily briefing is here. Salesforce says, hello there. There's 10 days left in the quarter and you need $735,000 to meet your quota. Your 5 meetings today add up to 1.3 million in the pipeline. Your first meeting is at 11 a.m. Good luck. Really? We're going to get that kind of pressure delivered to us via the app? Thank you and no thank you. So the two companies are going to work together on Salesforce, a mobile SDK that's optimized for Apple's Swift coding language. With SDK, developers will be able to build an iOS app that uses the Salesforce Lightning platform as a cloud backend. I'm just not if you're a Salesforce user and you're excited about this, please let me know. I have my door open. Sounds like some people have gotten home. All right, some iPhone users are saying colors look off after upgrading to iOS 12. So are you seeing that on the iPhone 10? All right, do the colors look wrong? Do they not look right? Let me know. All right. Some folks are saying it looks a little off. Okay, what's this article? Something happened here. What happened? Did I lose it? Okay, we'll close that. There's a discussion over in Gadget, what will Android look like in the next 10 years? And, a decade ago, Android launched to a world of, lots of challenges. In 2008, Google wasn't worried about AI. It was just trying to make a stable operating system and starting to compete with Apple and BlackBerry at the time. So, Android has been on a pretty strong upward trajectory here. And of course, they're saying in 10 years, there's going to be AI built into it. Text messaging is going to be will be autocomplete. And Google's more integration and so forth, and augmented reality and from the phone as well. So anyway, some speculation on where Android's going over the next 10 years. I don't even want to speculate. I just think we're in a pretty fun time right now when it comes to mobile. But one thing I don't understand is that Snapchat will add Amazon product search so you can buy products directly from the app. I'm sure this is going to make vendors very, very happy. I'm sure they're going to be excited to hear that you can walk into their store, take your Snapchat app, click on a product, and it'll come up in Amazon and you can order it instead of buying through the store. We've been able to do that with QR codes and a whole bunch of other things for years. There's been lots of ways to do this. But just another way of eroding products. And maybe it's not at a store. Maybe you see someone's got something at their house and you want one like it. And there's lots of options here, but most people are going to use that in a retail outlet. Announcement coming from Uber Gizmo saying that Hulu will live stream TV on the Amazon Echo Show. So if you have an Amazon Echo Show, you're not going to be able to get Hulu on that as well. So Hulu has announced that it's now the first live TV streaming service to enable Echo Show owners to stream live TV on their devices. And the Echo Show screen is about a little bit bigger than, about the size of an iPad mini screen. So I guess if you like your Amazon Echo Show, I'm looking at mine right now. And it says at 747, college football shifts and shakeups. And if you want to get more information on what's going on with that college football story, it says the command you need to tell Alexa to give it to you. And my Echo Show hides behind a computer screen. All right, T-Mobile's relaunched prepaid services with Amazon and Google Perks. So if you're looking at page ago, Metro by T-Mobile is the new name. A little bit cheaper than regular T-Mobile plans, but depending on the level plan you get, you even get Amazon Prime as part of the your ongoing month-to-month. And so anyway, that's some stuff going on with Metro by T-Mobile. All the details on what you can get, some of the Google product stuff you can get as well. It'll be linked up in the show notes. I guess some business owners have a cash flow problem, but when I read this today, I said, wow. So Stripe is testing cash advances following Square and PayPal's move into the business finance space. So one of the businesses that provided the folks at TechCrunch with details on what Stripe is proposing, the business was offered a $25,000 advance by Stripe with a 10% premium. In other words, a loan for $25,000 will total $2,500 plus. So it costs you $2,500 for the loan. Users are given a fixed percentage rate, then take from daily sales to pay back the advance. Wow. Meaning the minimum amount you pay back can be vary day to day based on your sales for that day. In the case of their tipster, that payback rate was about 3% of his daily sales. So $25,000, and they just have a cost associated with it. So is it $25,000? The cost of that getting that loan is $2,500 plus interest? Is that what I'm reading? If that's the case, wow. Square works with Celtic Bank to provide loans through Square Capital, and the loans come the next day and range from $500 to $100,000 with what appears to be variable premiums, like Stripe customers are given an option to pay back by the way a fixed percentage of daily sales. Amex offered the same customer approach by Stripe, the ability to take out a loan with a lower overall cost for the money, 4%. PayPal provides loans up to 30% of annual sales in minutes of approval. Wow. Cash advance in business is crazy. I didn't know business loans work that way, but it's cash advance. It's not a business loan, right? So that's why the premium's so high. Holy cow. Seems like armed robbery to me. All right, Slack has purchased and shut down intelligent email app Astro. So I didn't know if any of you are familiar with this, but Astro was using, it's basically an add-on. It made it easier to integrate with Office 365 and Google Calendars. So it was a purchase by Slack. Also over in space.com, they've determined why the Earth wobbles and what is added to its wobble. What factors? And of course, global warming is one of those factors. Uber and Grab have been fined $9.5 million for mergers that harm competition in Singapore. So the Competition and Consumers Commission of Singapore has fined the ride-hailers a combined Singapore $13 million or US $9.5 million over the Uber-Grab merger, deemed to have hurt competition in the country's ride-hailing market. Individually, Uber was fined $6.58 million and Grab $6.42 million. Penalties the watchdog imposed in order to deter completed irreversible mergers that harm competition. Despite the fines, the Uber-Grab merger was not required to be undone. Interesting here, what happens outside of the United States. Coming up, Walmart is going to be training its workers with the Oculus Go. You know what that is? That's the VR-based headset. It's a VR-based employee training program. Employees will use the headset to access 45 activity-based modules. Walmart will send 4 headsets to every Walmart Supercenter and 2 to every neighborhood market and discount store. More than 17,000 Oculus Go headsets will be in stores by the end of 2018. So some sort of training. Very, very interesting. Anyone that has family who works in Walmart would love to hear how this training goes. All right, there's some dumb phones out there. I saw one the other day. I said, wow, you've got a flip phone. And the guy laughed. He says, yep. He said, I don't need anything more than that. So there's a number of dumb phones out there. Probably the dumbest of them all is the one that's out there is the ZTE Z2 through Z233. Actually, it's a Nokia 3310. Actually, just a phone that you type a number in and hit send. Oh my gosh, these are as basic as they get. I'll link up in the show notes. I think you guys will laugh at these, but maybe you have someone that needs one. I have a couple of deals here. Password protect and store up to 120 gigs of files on SanDisk, $25. UltraFlare USB 3.0. I like the SanDisk external. I've had good luck with those over the years. Amazon Prime exclusive, a Moto X4 is down to $230. Originally, how much was it? $279. So again, the Moto X4. Another deal is the folks over at CNET has surprising gadgets and tech you can get on Amazon for under $50. Pre-warn, if you click any of these links, CNET gets an affiliate referral fee for that. All right. All right, let me go back to here at the end of the content. Let's see what we've got for comments, if anything has come in. Oh, Andy said he sent a follow-up email saying, hey, Todd, the website shows you how many reviews Amazon removed. Also, what percent are high-quality reviews. It gives the reviews a grade, not the product, but the reviews. We're talking about fakespot.com that Andy turned us on to last show. So anyway, definitely check that out, fakespot.com. All right, we're going to wrap here. I want to thank everyone for hanging out with me, having fun. And the ongoing experiment with the new live streamer is ongoing. Let's see how we're doing on. We're still good on Twitter, so we're actually live on Twitter right now. That seems to have went well, and it looks like all the other streams are up. just a little. It looks like it takes a little while for the stream to stabilize. But what I learned on Periscope was it required a little different setup. So I'm running 2 transcoders at the same time, which this has been the first true test of both those transcoders where everything stayed up. And it looks like YouTube stayed up pretty much live after it got through its. It still had a few little hiccups today. So I'll go back and look at the history, see if it was me or if it was them. All right. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. We'll be back with you on Thursday. geeknews@gmail.com, geeknews@gmail.com. What do you think my chances are here with the insurance company, with that spot being, basically about 10 pieces of the floor, about 3 foot each, having a little bit of an issue? I don't know if I'll be able to find that same type of flooring or not. And the last thing I want is mismatched flooring. Anyone run into this before with insurance? I'd love to hear from you. All right, that's going to get out of here. Everyone, thanks for being here. Thanks for being part of the Ohana. Thanks for hanging out. It's been my pleasure bringing the show tonight. Everyone, take care. We'll see you next time here on the Geek News Central podcast. Take care. Bye-bye.